Alright, let's try this again. Hopefully it actually works this time. Seriously? Am I upside down? Whoa. Okay, I don't know what is going on here, but that's pretty cool. Good morning, YouTube land. Now it's all funky. I don't know what the heck just happened. I tried doing this feed once and it was messed up. So I scrapped that one and now I'm doing it again and I was all upside down and everything. So whatever, it is what it is. We are here, we are live. This is your fill-in host, JB. I'm filling in for D-Lock, who once again is worked late, so he's super tired, and I get that. So I volunteered to fill in, and I will be going over this week's Team Fitted TV hosts NFL picks for the week. D-Lock makes the picks, or he chooses the games. There's 2 games that he picks, and then all the hosts get to pick a third game, which is an upset pick of their choosing. And before we get started, let's go over some standings here. After 2 weeks, D-Lock and Swartzy are tied on top of the leaderboard. They have 6 points. Big Dave sitting in 3rd place. He's got 5 points. Chicago Joe, your worst host ever, he is in 4th place. He's got 4 points. Your boy Q, he's in 5th place with 3 points. And your humble host, JB, bringing up the rear with a big 2 points. So, you know, it is what it is. It's early, though. Lots of things can happen. So, having said that, now that the stage is set, let's take a look at our Week 3 picks. And our first game, the San Francisco 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. 49ers, Chiefs. One moment. I want to make sure these are both in the camera view here. You can get a good look at these hats here. I showed this one off last week as when Kansas City was a pick, and I showed you this was the Super Bowl IV side patch cap. With the 49ers cap, because my goal with my hats was to have one of every NFL team, but some of the hats I was going to be very choosy about. Like, I wasn't just going to go get the typical solid red or the solid black 49ers cap. I wanted to have something, and I did this with a number of my NFL caps. I wanted to have something that looked similar to the helmet. So the 49ers helmet is gold, and it's got this logo. So that's what I chose. It just happened to be Super Bowl 19 side patch cap. So this is a cap I'll probably never actually wear because I hate the 49ers. Who doesn't? But still, it's a pretty good looking hat, and if I'm going to have a 49ers cap in my collection, this is the one I'm going to want it to be. So, having said that, everybody picked the Chiefs. Everybody picked the Chiefs. So it's all for one, or one for all, or whatever that saying is, however that goes. So 6 up, 6 down, no matter what happens, no loss, no gain, everybody's got the Chiefs in this one. It happens. Next up, we've got the Cowboys and the Seahawks. And this is another one where if I'm going to pick a Cowboys hat to have, because traditionally, going way back, the Cowboys were always my least favorite team. I always hated the Cowboys. This goes back to the late 70s when I first started following the NFL. But I thought, if I'm going to get a Cowboys hat, when you think of the Cowboys, and you think of those classic white uniforms, that's what I wanted for a hat. So I did manage to find one. White crown, got the navy visor, you know, the whole 9 there. Just simple, classic. This is another one I'll probably never wear. In fact, This was one of the hats I got with my Ultimate Hat Collection championship winning gift card. I got it got it with a huge discount. Plus, essentially, it was free. So thank you, Lids. And then for my Seahawks hat, this is the replacement hat that I got from Hat Club. This is the throwback logo with the metallic silver visor. I love metallic silver. This is a really sweet hat. Oh, and D-Lock, not teasing you. This is my throwback Jim Zorn jersey. For those of you that know your Seahawks history, Jim Zorn was their first quarterback. So since I was a Seahawks fan all that time ago, I thought this was a natural good choice of a jersey for me to have. So this one here, 4 of us have picked the Seahawks, and I made a joke when I made this pick, like this should be my upset pick because I did pick the Seahawks to beat the Cowboys. D-Lock, Q, and Swarty also picked the Seahawks to win, leaving Joe and Big Dave picking the Cowboys. So there you go. So a little 4-2 split right there. And now we move into the upsets. 4 different games picked. We'll start off with Swarty's pick because it already happened. So Swarty went with the Thursday night game, Jets and Browns. And yeah, he actually picked the Browns. I figured he picked the Browns enough. They were eventually going to win. Yeah, so this logo is going to go defunct, I believe, next year. There's a certain irony to me about this logo and people wanting this logo to be changed because the Jets had the logo, the one that I grew up with, which is the one they wore in the 80s. And then everyone, when the throwback thing started becoming a thing, everybody's like, the Jets need to go back to that old school Joe Namath logo. And then they did. And now everybody wants them to go back to the other one. So it's just, people and their logos is kind of funny to me. I just always got a kick out of that. So, and the Browns logo, if you saw my show on Tuesday and you saw me talk about the Browns Element logo, this gives you a pretty good idea. They just basically made the whole cap orange and just took the face mask and made it to where the orange. See, they could have at least had the stripe here. They could have had that as part of the element. That might have been kind of cool. Actually, no. That wouldn't have been cool. They just blew it, in my opinion. Anyway, Swarty's already up 1 with his pick, so good job. What's up, Luke? No, the Browns should not change their logo. As boring as it is, it's iconic. I mean, what are they going to change it to? I don't see anything they could possibly change it to. That's I don't know. I have a soft spot for that. Just plain. It'd be like the Steelers. You know, the Steelers putting their logo on both sides of their helmet. Does it look silly sometimes that you just see the solid black on one side? Maybe, but it's iconic, and you just can't change it. Just my opinion. I don't see how you personify a brown. Unless they put browns across the. I don't know. I don't see it. Well, they do have. I don't have it. Maybe I'll show it off sometime. They had the what's his name, Brownie, that little elf-looking guy. I have that on a hat too. I mean, that's something. I don't know. I always thought the depiction of the dog, I thought that was kind of cool. So I mean, there's some things they could do, but I don't like just the word mark though. They have the cap with just the word mark. I don't care for that. I like just the helmet. That doesn't bother me. So I don't know. See what happens. I mean, that pretty much for me. That's the only thing they got going for them. All right, so Swarty's up 1. Let's move on to Chicago Joe's worst pick ever. And I shouldn't say that because I'm actually hoping he pulls this one off. Little NFC South action. The Saints and the Falcons, both depicted here in some throwback logos. I would like someday to have the elements cap of the Saints though with that Louisiana. I just think that's sweet. And this, I don't know, this is Steve Bartkowski era stuff. I just like this one. I think I talked about that last week though. Anyway, Joe's got the Saints. That's his upset. He's picking the Saints to upset the Falcons, and I hope that happens. No offense to Falcons fan, but I don't know. There's just something about Atlanta that just rubs me the wrong way. I mean, in general, Braves. I don't like the Braves. Falcons, and it's like, you know, every year. I mean, I guess I admire the passion that Falcon fan has, but just the whole rise up thing. It's like, you know, you get stomped, and they're still like, rise up. You know, like, okay, you're not as good as you think you are. That's how I look at it. I don't know, just a little bit of arrogance kind of bugs me. But I don't know. That's a historical one also, because when I started following football back in the late 70s, the Falcons, I grew up an LA Rams fan. The Falcons were actually in the NFC West. Does that make sense? No, but that's how it was. Moving on. Next up, we have got the Raiders and the Fins. I used to work with the guy when I worked grocery back in the Stone Age, and he was a big Miami Dolphins fan, and he'd always be like, Fins, baby, Fins! And it's like, shut the fuck up. I couldn't stand that. So I hated the Dolphins because of him, and it's like I didn't want the Dolphins to ever win because I knew it would piss him off. Except he was a service manager, so him and I closed together a lot, and he took his sports deadly serious. And if they lost, he would be in a bad mood. He'd be in a bad mood. Like one time, he was a Knowles fan too, a Florida State fan, and they were the shit in the '90s. So he was always like, Knowles, baby, and who beat them? Virginia. Somebody beat them. They did like a last play of the game, goal line stand, and his kid called him at the store, and told him, and I guess I don't know, he made a comment, he laughed or something, and he's all, we're gonna talk about this when I get home. You don't call me and talk to me like that. And I was like, dude, you're gonna be pissed off at your kid because he clowned you about your sports? So yeah, that's why I've always kind of disliked the Dolphins. But Dan Marino, he may not have a Super Bowl. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Tell me I'm wrong, because I'm not. There's a lot of guys that have Super Bowl rings that aren't that good. Anyway, back to the picks. This one is Q's pick, and he is picking the Raiders to take this one. That is his upset pick. So this one here, this hat here, I have the orange variant of this. When they changed logos and they went away from the pissed off dolphin, the classic logo, and I know this was already kind of sort of a deviation from their original logo, but I went and I grabbed both of these, and yeah, because I don't really care for the new logo. I never have. Good stuff. So that's Q's pick. Q's got the Raiders. Raiders just win, baby. And then the last upset pick, 3 of us have made the same pick here for our upsets. So myself, D-Lock, and Big Dave, we all have the Cincinnati Bengals over the Carolina Panthers. Now, I did recently pick up the more modern version of the Bengals logo, but again, this is one from my childhood. You can look up the story about like why the Bengals colors are similar to the Browns colors and why their helmets were similar and everything. It's an interesting story if you really care to look, but you know, just having the word Bengals across the orange helmet, I don't know, it's kind of boring. I remember when they went to the striped logo, which at the time was just, wow. I mean, that was, what a radical departure, you know. Nobody had ever done something like that. I mean, the Rams had the horns, which was kind of cool, but nobody had ever done anything all the way across, and it was pretty cool, and everybody just thought it was awesome. And it's kind of funny because that's almost 40 years now. Jesus Christ. Almost 40 years now since that happened. And I think people are finally starting to kind of be like, it's time to do something different. Those are tired. So it'd be interesting. I'd like to see them do this, wear this as a throwback, though, if they haven't. Maybe somebody could verify if that's ever happened, because I don't recall it. But, yeah, so this is my favorite Bengals hat. Anyway, the three of us, myself, D-Lock, and Big Dave, have all picked the Bengals as our upset pick for the week. So, and I believe that's it. That is it. So, yeah, so tune in next week. Hopefully D-Lock will be back, and you won't have to look at me go over these picks again. D-Lock's got the jerseys too, so that's pretty cool. I only have the hats, except for the Patriots. And I have a spreadsheet. I keep track of these throughout the day, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to gain some ground. But since D-Lock and I have exactly the same picks, and D-Lock is currently 4 points ahead of me, I will not be gaining any ground on him. And since Swartzy picked the Browns as his upset, and upsets count as 2 points, yeah, it's going to be a tough week for me, so I'm probably still going to be in the cellar at this point next week. But whatever, it's all in fun. It's all good. So, until next time, I see you guys, which, I know I said I'm going to do more of a monthly type of thing. So, a few more weeks. Hopefully I'll have enough content together to hopefully give you guys some quality entertainment. And until then, you all enjoy your Sunday. Check out the other hosts. Q, maybe he's going to have a show tonight. He didn't last week, but hopefully he has a show. D-Lock, hopefully tomorrow. Joe, Worst Collection Wednesdays. Swartzy with Swartz Day Thursdays. I should be doing this too, because I do have these. Worst Collection Wednesday, Swartz Days Thursdays. Maybe Big Dave on Friday. So check out your Team Fitted lineup. Maybe some new stuff coming on board too. I'm hearing some rumors. So check it all out. And you guys enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your NFL picks. And we'll see you next time.